Chicago Sky supporters anticipated pyrotechnics last night as the lights at the United Center went down. Angel Reese's customary domination was met with deafening indifference. But what actually happened was a storm of stillness. Angel, who is renowned for her unrelenting effort and aggressive demeanor, dominated the floor with clutch defense, hustle plays, and tough rebounds. However, the audience, who were meant to be the champions behind their star, sat silently, hardly acknowledging her brilliance. The shouts came later, and at dubious times, the calls from the fans were few. And even the commentators halted and exchanged perplexed looks. There was a problem. Normally the beating heart of the audience, Angel felt like a ghost playing her own game. After a large block, her trademark roar was muffled by quiet. Her usually infectious enthusiasm was met with shrugs of the shoulders. Angel is giving it her all, but why isn't anyone noticing? Supporters said on social media. Others asked for clarification. Is there drama that we're missing? By halftime, rumors were circulating around the arena. Did she do anything wrong? Have her admirers moved on? The tension was intense backstage. Angel was the target of anxious looks from teammates. Coaches gathered in a hurry. No player should have to endure such stillness, and even the other team took notice. According to reports, Angel slumped into the seat, breathing heavily, her eyes blazing with hurt and rage. Every missed cheer seemed to serve as a sharp reminder that she was invisible. Then came the decisive moment at no look. A loop slam. That was hard to miss. When the audience eventually exploded, critics pointed out that it was too little, too late. Videos of Angel's greatest plays that received no response became viral on social media. Using hashtags like #PayAngelHerDues and #SeeTheSkyStar, people came together to support her. However, there were still questions. What caused this unexpected cold? A vote of no confidence, was that right? A greater dispute? Or simply a lack of devotion from fans? There's no denying that Angel Reese blew up on camera, and everyone had to witness her battle for the recognition she so well deserves. Hold on tight. This is simply the beginning of the narrative. The energy in the tunnel was more intense than any game she had played all season when Angel Reese left the court that evening. Her trademark braided hair swayed with each stride, and perspiration still trickled down her arms. But her eyes, which were inscrutable and piercing, spoke the truth. She was furious about something more profound than the loss or the lack of enthusiasm in the crowd, anything private. And it began many hours before to tip off. Rumors had been circulating in the media circles earlier that day. There had reportedly been an argument between Angel and a top Chicago Sky employee, although the specifics were unclear. Sources stated that the dispute was mostly over marketing campaigns and media attention, or lack thereof. Angel's highlight reels, interviews, and behind-the-scenes videos had inexplicably stopped coming in, while other rookies and well-known veterans had been featured. There was a problem. A close insider muttered to a sports writer on X, "It seems like they're attempting to dim her light." And that's not something that Angel takes sitting down. In keeping with that, Angel demonstrated unparalleled enthusiasm during pre-game warm-ups as the arena filled up, headphones on, zeroed in, laser-focused. Her focus was evident, her maneuvers were precise, and her strokes connected with grace and force. Fans took note. They shared excitement tweets and uploaded videos. However, the affection ended when it was time for the game. Angel pulled down 7 rebounds, blocked 1, and scored 4 points in the first quarter alone. It was grit at every turn. However, the audience remained silent. Not a roar. Not even a standing ovation. Her colleagues didn't even show any enthusiasm. After a forceful putback, she looked around and saw nothing. Head coach Teresa Weatherspoon, who was probably aware of the change in the team's chemistry, called plays more urgently on the sidelines. The connection felt broken, even if Reese was performing better than expected. And nobody looked at her when she went back to the bench. No bumps to the fist. No pats on the shoulders, silence, and chilly water. There was no respite at halftime. According to a subsequent anonymous leak, Angel eventually broke the stillness in the locker room. What else must I do to gain recognition in my own city? Although she didn't speak loudly, her voice was disappointed. A few colleagues cast their eyes downward. Others averted their gaze. At last, one said, "You know what it is?" The fuse was sparked by that evasive response. Fans made crazy speculations on social media. Was Angel's removal due to her candid interviews? Was it retaliation for her earlier viral clips from LSU's championship run? Or was it politics at the front office of the Sky? Others didn't think this was a coincidence. According to a Team Insider's now deleted article, there is a growing locker room rift that is supposedly motivated by jealousy of Angel's enormous fan following and burgeoning popularity. According to the piece, she's bringing in numbers, attention, and money. However, not everyone in that room enjoys being subordinate to a novice. In the meantime, Angel hooped, as she usually does. She returned with a bang in the third quarter. Consecutive blocks. A steal that dives. Layup from coast to coast. And there's still stillness. It seemed as though the stadium had silenced itself. The boiling point then arrived. Angel was sent flying to the hardwood after taking a heavy foul with 5 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. Everyone in the crowd flinched, but nobody yelled. Not a single chant. "No, Angel, let's go." It's just a calm worry. She glanced to the stands as she stood up, and that's when it occurred. The cameras clearly captured Angel Reese yelling, "Why are you all so silent now?" as loud as she could. Everything spilled out in a visceral, emotional eruption that chilled the stadium. The anger, the heartache, the rage. And it was only the beginning. Chicago Sky had fallen behind by 8 points by the time the final buzzer rang. Angel Reese had 18 points, 12 rebounds, and 3 blocks in his double-double. Nevertheless, she left the court as if she were a player that her own team could not see. The press conference after the game was heated. Reporters inquired about her shouting into the throng. Angel didn't avoid it. "I give it my all. Each hand. Every evening. You are all responsible if that is insufficient." Not me. The internet exploded when she said that. Answers were demanded by supporters who hadn't even watched the game. She supplied enthusiasm throughout the season, as seen by previous highlight reels that came to light. There was a noticeable contrast between her crowd's response and that of players who performed worse, according to one viral video. Overnight, #usage spiked. #respect. Angel, #Chicago, wake up, #see her greatness. Even previous players had something to say. An NBA veteran wrote, "Don't let your own insecurities dim a star." Then the quiet suddenly became a roar. Though it was unclear if this was real or if it was too late, the narrative was far from finished. Overnight, the quiet that had previously engulfed Angel Reese's name was broken by a clamor so loud that even those who had previously disregarded her had to listen. Sports blogs, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter are all overflowing with videos of Angel's in-game meltdown. That eerie moment when she turned to the audience and said, "Why are you all so silent now?" She was dubbed a diva by certain fans. Some referred to her as a warrior. However, the team could no longer control the story. Angel Reese was at the epicenter of a cultural inferno, not simply a fad. Slow motion replays of her hustling plays were shown on sports networks with empty stands and subdued audience responses. One critic remarked, "This is not how you treat a star. This is how you alienate the person who is preserving your franchise." Tension bubbled up among the Chicago Sky organization. Internal disputes on how to sell Angel were exposed in a leaked email chain that was provided anonymously to a blog that frequently exposes WNBA turmoil. It was purportedly written by one executive that she brings in views but alienates some of the veterans. Another clapped back, "Balance doesn't pay bills. Balance is key. Hype does. She's the talk. The publicity staff at Sky went into overdrive. When that was disclosed, they put apologetic captions, hurriedly released highlight clips, and abruptly gave Angel's performances the attention they had been denying. However, fans didn't like it. The harm was already done. Angel also took note. She reportedly showed up early for practice, said very little, and put forth more effort than everyone else on the court. She was concentrating on surgery. However, she stood alone during the team's huddle. She didn't grin as they started drills. And she only nodded when a teammate made a joke with her. The once confident locker area was suddenly teeming with nervousness. The change was felt even by head coach Teresa Weatherspoon. She was questioned if the squad still had Angels back during a news appearance. Her silence was a powerful statement. At last she stated, "We support every one of our players. But we're working things out like any family." Fans didn't believe it. That pause? One wrote, screamed volumes. Former NBA players also provided input. A presenter stated in a podcast tape that went viral that Angel is experiencing the same thing that many young stars, particularly Black women, do. When you're marketable, people adore you. But when you ask for respect, they don't. All of a sudden, you are difficult. Angel didn't publicly address any of it. However, her quiet spoke louder than words ever could. Then the gossip started. "Don't be surprised if Reese asks for a trade," tweeted a sports agent with knowledge of NBA talks. The statement was unverified, but the mere notion sent shivers across the league. Chicago Sky supporters flocked to comment sections, saying, "No, she is essential to us. And why would she remain in an area where she is not praised?" Angel's camp, however, remained silent. However, late-night posts on her Instagram stories with a dark screen and the words, "Loyalty has limits," fueled the flames. One post turned into a wildfire. For hours, fan pages, blogs, and sports gurus analyzed it. Was the team at issue? The supporters? Something more profound behind the scenes? Angel was clearly more than simply hurt. She felt deceived, and the stakes could not have been greater as the Sky's next home game drew near. Would this time the fans turn out for her? Would her teammates support her? Or would the quiet become more deafening? Reporters claimed that shortly. Prior to tip-off, Angel entered the locker room without a grin, hooded and using headphones. Everyone sensed that a storm would arrive. What were the fans unaware of? Behind the scenes, officials from Sky and Angel's agency held a meeting. Courting. Two others familiar with the matter, it was tense, brief, and unresolved. According to one insider, Angel's team made 3 demands: equal commercial push, improved media presence, and a public declaration of support from the organization. So yet, none of those had occurred, because of what she stood for now as well. As her statistics, everyone was watching her as she appeared in court that evening. Angel Reese was engaged in more than simply basketball. She was acting to maintain her honor. Out of deference, seeking evidence that she was unavoidable. And she went on to provide one of the team's best opening quarters ever. Past 2 defenders with a Euro step. A finale from coast to coast. The ball entered the first row after a chase-down block. 12 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists. Absolute power. That audience exploded this time. There was a surge of indications. Children cried out her name. Angel, however, did not grin, didn't make a point, did not even give a nod. The affection now, it had a theatrical quality. Held up, and she wasn't prepared to provide forgiveness. That quickly, she went directly to the locker room at halftime. No interviews, not a single high five. Nothing but quiet, nevertheless. A single moment during that game altered everything. Cameras captured a young girl in the 3rd row holding a homemade placard that said, "Angel Reese made me love basketball." Angel glanced up for a brief moment and grinned out only time, a glimmer of warmth amid a tempest of bitterness. However, this narrative is far from done. The noise is just growing louder. You would anticipate a party the evening following Angel Reese's performance, which broke all previous records. Social media was ablaze, fan cheers were abundant. And highlight clips eventually took center stage in NBA coverage, but not from the official Chicago Sky outlets this time. They came from national networks, fans, and even famous people. Not from her own squad. Though Angel took notice, she took the initiative that night at the post-game media session. She dropped a bombshell that nobody saw coming while cameras followed her. She didn't wait for the first inquiry, wearing a sleek black suit and sky blue nails. "I've given everything," she said quietly, but forcefully as she leaned closer into the microphone. "And I still feel as though I'm battling for room in my own home." The room echoed with gasps. Reporters stopped. Someone's phone fell. "I adore the city. I adore the fans. However, I can't be somewhere that doesn't feel the same kind of love for me." There was a startled quiet. Then the inquiries came flooding. Are you requesting a trade? Are you quitting the group? What goes on in the background?" Angel grinned, knowing, sardonic, sorrowful. "You'll see shortly." #Angel Reese was the most trending hashtag in the country by midnight. Emergency parts were broadcast by SPSN. Instant reaction episodes were released by sports podcasts. This could be the largest player-team breakdown in modern NBA history, according to one panelist. Anarchy broke out among the Chicago Sky Group. According to people close to the front office, executives were taken by surprise. Even the reported statement, "she's blowing everything up because of attention," was met with an immediate and harsh criticism. Supporters started taking sides. #Team Sky versus #Team Angel. Sponsors serving intently. In the meantime, players from other teams began posting mysterious tweets. "Some teams know how to treat queens," said one Las Vegas celebrity, while another remarked, "We got room in Atlanta." And Angel, none of it was reposted by her, remained silent. Took no action till 2 days later an unexpected exclusive was released by a prestigious sports publication. The heading, "Inside the Divide: How the Chicago Sky Mishandled Their Biggest Star." The article was harsh. It revealed lost marketing chances, corporate communications that discounted her brand appeal, and an unsettling meeting in which a senior staff member reportedly warned her team, "We don't want her overshadowing the veterans." The internet blew up again when that story broke. During a press conference, even the commissioner of the NBA was compelled to reply, "Angel Reese is essential to the league's expansion. We are in contact with the Chicago Sky organization to guarantee that every athlete receives equitable and respectful treatment." Fans were angry by now. They demanded responsibility by flooding the comment sections of Sky. Those with season tickets threatened to withdraw. The courageous fan captioned her video of herself burning Sky stuff, saying, "If Angel goes, we go." At practice back in Chicago, things got out of hand. Shouting could be heard behind closed doors, according to a now viral TikTok that was posted from the gym's corridor. Even though the audio was distorted, Angel's voice could be clearly heard. There was just one intelligible sentence: "I will no longer tolerate disrespect." Angel Reese was unfollowed on Instagram. Shortly after, by the Chicago Sky, fans saw it right away. Angel added the term "noted" to her story a minute later. Then the last twist appeared. Angel was late for the very next game, not for warm-ups, not to the arena, to the team bus. Rumors spread quickly. Was she placed on the bench? Was she placed on suspension? "Angel is handling personal matters," was all the coach stated. However, when the cameras shifted to the stands in the middle of the game, she was seated courtside in casual attire, drinking water and watching her team from the seats. The crowd roared. The group, startled, ... Then, in the middle of the fourth quarter, she got up, grinned, and left. If she had yelled it from the roof, the message would have been much clearer. "You didn't clap for me? I won't clap for you now. In only 6 hours, the clip alone received 2 million views. Since then, Angel has not made any public remarks. No interviews, no tweets. It's just one Instagram picture of her leaving the court with the following caption: "Silence does not equate to loyalty." The league is now holding its breath. Well, Shigo will pressure cause the squad to falter. Ownership take over. There is no certainty, however. Angel Reese will never again be quiet, invisible, or marginalized. What comes next, then? Will Angel Reese remain and bring about a radical transformation of the Chicago Sky? Or is this the silence before she surprises? The league with a big deal to a team that is prepared to formally recognize her as the queen that she is. What about the fans? Can the celebrations now truly undo the harm done when they turned away in silence? Will it be too late or too little? Angel Reese is smack in the middle of the developing storm in the NBA, unflappable, unbeaten, and unrepentant, and she isn't going to back down, regardless of whether the league, the club, or even the fans are ready. This is not the end of the narrative, as well as you. You will want to remain locked in. Go a comment below with your thoughts. Should Angel stay and demand respect, or should he go and never return? Do you think Angel Reese deserves more attention, love, and support? Click the like button. Get unique updates, in-depth analyses, and behind-the-scenes information that the media won't provide by subscribing today. Additionally, remember to enable alerts since the next installment in this narrative might happen at any time. We assure you that you won't want to miss it, Angel. Reese is more than simply a basketball player. She is revising the regulations. And for every moment of it, we're here. Keep an eye out. Keep an eye out.